everybody, it's Babette with Haggerty Dog Training in Palm Beach County, Florida. And here's my friend Brady, who's helping me today. And today's topic is, what were the pivotal moments in my dog training career? I've had quite a few, so I'll just highlight a handful of them. I'd have to say the most pivotal one was when I got into dog training. I was a college kid going to Florida Atlantic University in Boca, just doing what college kids do. And my mom and I had gone to a dog show out at the fairgrounds. And, you know, I had grown up going to work with my dad, going on movie sets, supplying dogs for like All My Children and The Guiding Light and Wolf Schmidt vodka ads and a Milk-Bone dog biscuits commercial with a whole bunch of beagles. So I had done all of these really cool things, a Black & Decker commercial with a Frenchie and Dallas Cowboy Bob Lilly. Anybody from the 70s might remember that. So my mom and I had gone to a dog show, and I called up my dad. I said, I'm gonna get a dog and start breeding dogs. And he said, there's no money in that, become a dog trainer. Now this is the late 80s. There was not a dog trainer on every block. There wasn't even a dog trainer in every town. Today, everywhere you go, everybody's a dog trainer. You know, it's like they watch one season or one episode of Caesar and they all think that they're Caesar Milan. Anyway, at the time, my dad was like one of a handful of dog trainers in the United States, and he was the undisputed pioneer of dog training in the United States and definitely in the world. Anyway, I digress. So I called him up and I said, I'm going to start breeding dogs and start showing dogs. And he said, there's no money in it, start training dogs. And I thought, you're the dog trainer, Dad. Like, nobody else is the dog trainer but you. So he came to Florida to visit me, and he pretty much set me up in shop. He got me listing in the Yellow Pages, for those of you old enough to remember the Yellow Pages. He got me like a little listing in the paper TV guide and the Palm Beach Post. I got my business cards and some pens, and I started introducing myself to the vets, etc. And next thing I know, I remember I was in between classes at FAU. And, you know, I had to call my voicemail or my answering machine from the payphone, any of you that remember the payphone, to check my messages. And I remember I would be calling clients, you know, people that were inquiring about dog training. I would be calling them in between classes to get back to them in a timely fashion from the payphone. And I still remember the payphone. I still remember exactly where it was at FAU. Next thing I knew, I was training dogs more than I was going to class. And I dropped out of school and I just got busy training dogs, and I ended up growing at that time the largest dog training school in Palm Beach County. We did in-home lessons, we did group classes all the way from Linton Boulevard, Delray Beach at Pet Supplies Plus when they first opened, and there was like nothing else on Linton Boulevard at that time, all the way up to Jupiter, to Cuesta for all these different vets. And I think it was a total of 13 different locations of veterinarians where we were running group classes every week, and as far west as Royal Palm Beach off of 441. So that was definitely a pivotal point, and that's what got me into dog training. Then I have to say, probably the next pivotal point was when I ended up in New York City in 2007. My daughter had taken ill. I had to move to New York with my son and my daughter because they did not know what was wrong with her in South Florida. So I had to go get her to Cornell Medical Center so they could figure it out. So I ended up in New York City, and I was in essence rebuilding my whole life, but now I had 2 kids and I had a daughter that was in and out of the hospital. And a couple of years into being in the city, I got a phone call from a publisher who he wanted to write with me my Visual Guide to Good Dog Training book. And once we finished that, we worked on the Best Dog Tricks on the Planet book, which is 106 tricks to teach your dog. And there were a lot of tricks we had to cut out. There were so many more tricks. But that was a pivotal point for me because I got so much press on that. I ended up on the Today Show. I taught Natalie Morales' dog how to do the laundry. That was a lot of fun. And I was in newspapers. I had a client who would spend his winters in Maui, and he sent me an email and he said, you're on the front page of the Maui Times today, which I thought was pretty cool. So I had newspaper coverage, radio coverage, and television coverage all the way from Maui, Hawaii to New York City. And that was pretty wild. So that was a huge pivotal point for me. Another huge changing point for me in my dog training career actually came before I moved to New York City. And this really affirmed my philosophy in dog training. I am a balanced dog trainer, and I am so proud of it. It was 1994. I had gone to a dog trainers conference, and I met a Rottweiler breeder there. he had referred me to, I'm not gonna say they were older. Well, they were older. They were probably in their 60s, I'll say. And they had this Rottie puppy. And the breeder / trainer said to me, I don't want any corrections used on this dog. So I went out there for the first lesson. It was this lovely couple. They had Rotties before. They had just moved to Palm Beach where they were retiring. And the puppy had a terrible nipping problem. And I guess the puppy was, I don't know, 9-10 weeks. You know, it's a common problem with puppies. And I'm working with this dog and it was driving me crazy because I'm thinking I could solve this problem in like 32 seconds, less than 32 seconds, but the breeder does not want me to use any corrections on this dog. And it was just driving me crazy. And I thought, oh, you know, and I really got nowhere with that dog that first lesson. I could have accomplished so much more by stopping the problem behaviors. And these people were concerned about the nipping, and he wasn't being aggressive. It was just tearing their skin, and it's a little annoying when you have like these razor sharp teeth nipping at you. So, you know, we booked our next appointment. They called me up before the next appointment. They said, dog was too much, couldn't take the nipping anymore. We sent the dog back. And I thought to myself, you know what? I failed that dog. I failed that dog because I did what the breeder wanted. And I should have told the owners, I completely disagree. I can solve this problem if you will allow me to correct your dog. They probably would have allowed me to correct the dog because they were so desperate to stop this nipping problem. And it was at that point forward, I said, screw this all positive stuff. I will never fail a dog again by doing all positives. Now, I'm sure all my haters are gonna comment on this, and that's fine. But you know what? That was a huge turning point for me because I thought, you know what? Let's try this all positive, no correction based. And what ended up happening was the dog went back to the breeder, and who knows whatever happened to that dog. I mean, I assume he got a new home. I hope he got a new home. But those people, you know, I can assure you, they weren't going out to get another dog after that. They were done having dogs. So that was a huge point for me. And I'll tell you another huge turning point. And, you know, I've always believed that God does for you what you cannot do for yourself. In January of 2022, I attended a Tony Robbins 5-day workshop. I think it's 5 days, called Business Mastery. Let me just back up for a second. You know, at that point, I had my brick and mortar dog training school in Midland Park, New Jersey. It was great. I had employees. I had amazing clients. But what happens when you have a business and you're a dog trainer running a dog training school? You're not training dogs anymore. You are doing everything above and over, and you're taking care of the employees and the dogs, and you are running a business. You're not training dogs. I'm a dog trainer. I love training dogs. So when I went to the seminar, the very first thing Tony Robbins said was, now in your businesses, business owners, there's at least one person that needs to be fired. And that needs to be the first thing you do when you go back to work next week. And I thought, I know exactly who needs to be fired. And I went back, and it was too chicken to do it. Because I'm a dog trainer. I'm not a great business owner. I am a dog trainer. So a few months go by. I had taken a leave because I had some personal changes in my life. And I was gone for a month for my own business. I'm allowed to do that. And the employees that should have been fired, they quit. So God did for me what I could not do for myself. And at that point I was like, okay, I have a couple of options here. I could go back and I can hire more employees. That's not a big deal. Or I can go back doing what I love doing. And that's private lessons in the home. One-on-one. Dog owner, and me. Creating a once-in-a-lifetime relationship for every dog owner out there. That is my happy place. I love doing private lessons in the home with people. I get to know them. I get to know their families. I get to know their dogs. I am creating an amazing relationship, and I'm not having to worry about my employees and what they're doing and where they're going and payroll at the end of the week and the rent and all that stuff that business owners have. And God bless you if you own a business, because I understand and appreciate that. And at the end of the day and at the end of the week, hopefully there's money left for you at the end of the week. So I thought, well, I can rebuild, and add new employees, or I can go back to my happy place, training dogs, one-on-one, with dog owners, solving their problems and giving them the most amazing dog ever. Because truthfully, I'm a much better dog trainer than I am a dog training school owner. And you know, no matter how many trainers you have working for you, no one's gonna care as much as you do. No one's going to do the job you do. So I decided, you know what? I'm going back to Florida. I'm going back to my happy place. I'm gonna go back to training dogs barefoot on the beach, one-on-one with dog owners. That's the biggest, most recent change in my life when it comes to my dog training career. So those are some of the major turning points in my dog training career. And, you know, since the over 30 years that I've been training dogs, it's been a good one, and there's more to come, and it's going to get better and better. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and I hope you have a great day.